Next we're going to look at the time controls. In the time controls we have a basic player, and we've also got a couple of other buttons that don't quite look like player buttons. We'll look at those in a second. The first one we have is a go to start. The go to start does just what it says. If we're anywhere in our track bar and we click the go to start, it goes back to the first frame in the track bar. On the opposite note we have go to end. Go to end is going to push us all the way to the end frame in the track bar. Now this is just within the track bar. If there's additional keys that are to the left or the right of this, it's not going to go to the end of the keys of the object, just to what's within our track bar. Our other options are going to be our previous frame and our next frame, and these do just what they say. You can left click to step through the animation forwards or backwards. And then we have our player options, and this is just going to play the animation. If you left click on it, it will play the animation we have set up right now. And if you left click again, it'll stop the animation, and it stops it at whatever frame it's at. We'll go back to the start. Now the play option has an additional play type. So if you left click and hold, you get a fly out. You notice the different play. We'll select on this one. When you play this one is actually only going to play the selected object in the scene. So this way you can isolate an object for viewing its animation. So for instance, if I just wanted to see the box animation, I can click the play. It's going to remove the sphere from the viewport. It basically hides it, and it's just showing the animation that I have selected. This is a great way of isolating out animations when you're dealing with complex animations or lots of objects inside of a scene. And again, we can do that. We can select on the sphere, and we just isolate it down. You can select on the multiple objects and have those playing out. Okay, we'll go ahead and switch this back to our play mode regular. Okay, those are the basic player controls right there. Now below that we have our current frame, and this is also a kind of a go-to frame as well. So if you'll notice, whatever frame I have it on, the number in here changes up, matches where we're at. We can type in here, so if you actually want to go to a specific frame, you can just type in, let's say 45, and hit enter, and it'll take you to frame 45. Or if we're going to, let's say, one of the keyframes, we can pop it right over to the keyframe. We also have a radio dial on the side, so you can just left click and drag and adjust your keyframes this way. Now our other option right down here, this is our key mode toggle. The key mode toggle allows us to cycle between just the major keyframes of our animation. So in between here, these would be our in-between keys. This is what Max is creating for you. Now the keyframes that you generated are marked with the keyframe ticks here and here. Now to cycle between just this point and just this point, we can turn on our key mode toggle, and when we step through our animation, it's going to jump right to that next keyframe. Click it again, steps right to the next keyframe. This allows us to work just with our keyframes and not have to worry about, for instance, if we were trying to get all the way to it, click, 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 click. This just gets us to our major keyframes and allows us to work with them much easier. And then next to that one, we have our time configuration, and we can left click on that one. When the time configuration window comes up, this one has to be continued either with the OK or cancel before you can go back into your environment. So you make all of your adjustments here and then go back in. And we'll briefly go over what each one of these group boxes are and how they relate back to the animation.